Hello, hello. What's going on, y'all? Happy Friday. It is me, Jay Renard, and we are here with a nice little live stream. So, this project here was something I just kind of decided to do on a whim, and it's going to be a a minimalist wallet, single seam over here, and I decided to go ahead and add some basket weaving onto it just because leaving it blank felt kind of lazy. So I started the whole process. I was getting it ready to go. I used the French skiver uh, to skive out the fold points so they fold a little easier right there and also right there. So the end product will look like so, but properly lined up. So with the basket weaving, and then you'll have your spot for cash and spot for cards. But then I decided to go on ahead and just knock out some stuff live. Haven't done it in a while. If I could just find my burnishing. All right. So what we're gonna do is gonna bevel the edges and then proceed to glue and punch the holes. I'm not gonna stitch on camera. That just takes a while. And then I will have then I'll when it's ready to go, I'll post it, and then I'll probably post on Instagram or on Facebook for the sale price of it. But yeah, this was kind of just a whim that I decided to knock out. All right, so here we go. So don't need the punch pad there. All right, so this part here is going to be in the middle, so this edge won't be getting beveled, nor will this part because it won't be exposed. But these parts up here, beyond this section, all of this is going to get beveled. And this part here will get beveled prior to I'm sorry, this part here will get beveled prior to the stitching. So it'll start here, go down, and then this part here turning in, and it'll stop about there. And then this section here, actually I'm gonna leave this whole section unbeveled after it's stitched. I did kind of screw myself up here. I marked too far, not far enough up for the tooling. So I'm gonna have to stitch in this very small area here, and even with the Cinnabrox, it's because these tines here are of a size, and they'll take up most of the space there. So I've got to be laser locked in when it comes to punching the holes. Thankfully, there's no corners or curves, so I won't need to use this. All right, so again, leaving this, but beveling here up through this, and then around there, and then prepping for everything else. That rolling. This is somewhat controversial. Not a lot of people, especially on smaller items. Not everybody is beveling the inside. I'm uh I'm of two minds about it, but I'm gonna see what the overall benefit would be. There to there. Let's stop about here. Okay. Ba-da-da-da. Normally, I'm a little more interactive with the chat, but I don't have another device up right now so that I can't see the chats. Um, so if anybody's hitting me up or asking me questions or sending me shout outs, I really, really appreciate it. I just can't see it right now. I don't want you to think that I'm trying to ignore you. I just legitimately can't see it. And of course, I would have not brought my tokenol. Give me about 20 seconds. All right, that was a little more than 20. Sorry about that. Didn't intend to lie to you. You know what? It's been sitting there for a while. There we go. I'm not sure what everybody else's method of applying the tokenol or whatever your preferred burnishing agent is, but this is mine. Just getting a little bit and then slowly applying it, but I'm trying to apply it in the direction that the fibers are headed or fibers are facing, just so that it goes on a little smoother. Da-da-da. how I do with my burnishing, I go in the direction that the fibers are facing first, just to make sure that they all lay down in the same direction. Sometimes I do wish I had a smaller burnisher, but we get what we get, and we don't pitch a fit. Now this section here in the center, I'm gonna get more into that once I fold it a bit, because doing this makes it a lot easier to burnish. I just want to be able to get both sides. All right, that feels good. And this side will be done post stitching. So now we're gonna move into this side. Just gonna see which direction. There we go. The fibers are going in that direction now. I imagine that if somebody were left-handed, they would be applying this differently. But because I'm a righty, I'm holding the project in my left hand, and with my right hand, I'm applying the burnishing compound towards me. So I imagine for the left-handed leather crafters out there, or for folks who are ambidextrous, it would look something more like this. Yeah, so bring towards. I just don't have that dexterity, which, I mean, you'd think I would with the whole injury, but never did, never could get that. I already made a video about my injury way back in, I think it was 2021. But I'll make another video talking about how the hindrances and then my adaptations. Maybe it'll happen to, maybe it'll help somebody else out who's possibly dealing with this, with the same thing or something similar. Because oddly, hand injuries and digit injuries and limb injuries are, in the grand scheme of things, pretty common so far as medicine is concerned. So, doo-doo-doo. Now, a lot of folks would be doing the edge paint afterwards. I am not the biggest fan of edge paint on smaller items unless they're exotic. Uh, I mean, if it's veg tan or chrome tan, a good burnishing will be just fine, more than enough in my opinion. But not everything that's exotic burnishes in well. I've experienced quite a few things that just didn't burnish at all, despite the edge finishing and everything. This top can go back on. Glue spreader. I cannot remember for the life of me where I got this intercom from. I think I got it from one of the places where I got some leather from, and they included it as a complimentary gift. because I mean, no disrespect to Intercom, it's a water-based adhesive, and I do like it. But a while ago, I bought Aqualim from District Leather, based out of Georgia. Side note: hashtag not sponsored. Hashtag wish I was sponsored. District Leather hit me up. Uh, and and the Aqualim that they sell, their water-based adhesive, has been great for me. The only thing that's been better is barge, and I don't really need the strength of barge on on a lot of these smaller projects. So Aqualim has been the go-to for me. I am using it now though, largely out of convenience. The Aqualim is in another container in another dispenser uh, in the room across the way, and this glue is right here. I have used it a bunch. It's certainly not a bad glue, but Aqualim is, in my opinion, just a little bit better. It's easier to spread. It's not as thick and gummy. It's the only two things that are. Well, there's only times where I'll say that I don't like thick and gummy. I said what I said. So so the I don't like the how it's so thick because it takes a little bit longer to get tacky for sticking things together than Aqualim does. So I do have to play the waiting game a little bit more often with this stuff. The gumminess of it, it's not it's not bad. However, when it's right before it's properly tacky, it's it sticks more to things because of that gummy viscous nature. Aqualim spends a very short period of time where it's in the that phase where it'll pick up a lot of things. All right, let's line this up. Da 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 da. Edges are good. This isn't 100% necessary, but it is very useful. I stand by it, and it's a little bit nicer on the leather itself than using a rougher. For smaller projects, I absolutely recommend something like two 240, 220, 240 and up for the sandpaper for prepping with the glue. Strongly recommended. It really does help the adhesion. It sounds. I know initially when I first started, I was just thinking. I mean, glue is glue, and it's gonna stick to the other thing. But sometimes it doesn't stick well to the surface that you put it on. And oh man, and so that's why I'm a fan of roughing up the edge there. So this should be it for the glue. Let that sit for a minute. Let me check and see if I've had any. Oh man, don't tell me the screen froze. Oh, that screen froze. How long was it frozen? Bastard. so much progress. I'm gonna be really, really upset if that thing was up there for a long period of time. Have it plugged in too. I guess the cord's bad. Actually, it's more this side there, isn't it? There we go. So you might be asking, but Jay, why are you not bringing this pocket up aligned with the corner? To which I would say, that is a phenomenal question. And I do that on this model here that I'm going to be using a whole lot more of. I do that so that the work, more of the work that was done on here will show, and it also allows for currency of different sizes to be used on this particular wallet. Now, if I'm very, very lucky, I won't have to travel far for foreign currency. So, give me a bit and I will be right back. Say. All right. So, all right. Let me check and see if there was a possible comment. Nope. Good to go. Oh, snap. Okay, there we go. Cool. So, U.S. currency is 2.5 by 6 inches. Has been for what, a century plus. But then you have things like, actually, yeah, there we go. So, but you have things like Japanese yen. So this is a 2,000 yen note. From what I'm told, they only made these around about the turn of the millennium, and then they stopped making them. They're not worth more than 2,000 yen in Japan. It's legal tender, but I'm gonna keep this because they're not making more of them. What was made is what's in circulation. So I always thought that was really cool. But with older U.S. money, 2.5 by 6 inches, and slightly newer money. No, wait. Damn it. I thought I had a new 5 in here. Oh well. Do I have any? I have no bills on me. They're all in the car. Well, anyway, U.S. currency is 2.5 by 6 inches. Always has been. And a lot of foreign currency, it's either larger, it has set dimensions, or in the case of the Japanese yen and the euro, if I'm not mistaken, the larger the denomination on the bill, the physically larger the size of the bill. So the 1,000 yen note in Japan is about this size. I believe the 1,000 and the 2,000 are the same size. Then there's the 5,000 yen note, the 10,000 yen note, basically, more or less a 50 and 100 USD. It's off now because of the currency exchange rate, but that's just the series of denominations. Those notes are larger in in the eurozone. The notes start at, I believe, 10 euro. I don't believe they have a 5 euro note. Please correct me if I'm wrong. And then the 20, 50, 100, so forth and so on. Those euro notes are larger lengthwise and I believe height also. And this was designed by somebody in America. So you can have your bills, and were I to have this up here, this fold here would be closer in. It would stop there instead of a quarter inch or so down. So my bills would stop right there, more or less at the end of this one. But putting this further back allows for me to have bills that are a little bit larger sit further back, so they're not all the way out here and then flopped over the sides. So let me compare these, because I believe okay, so this one's taller. The 5,000 yen and the 10,000 yen notes are physically larger and I believe taller. And the euro notes, like I said before, they change in width with the face value as well. But allowing for this, and these clips shouldn't affect the example here. So with this in here, this sits well inside. It doesn't come and sit flipping over above there. So if you're using it, you can just right here pull out your denomination, pull out whatever it is that you need, and you'll be able to do the same thing with this one. There's a little bit of overhang, but not too much. But it's not overhanging on both sides. This in the top there. And if you saw how I keep my notes, I keep them folded in thirds. And that's something that I started doing while I was stationed in Japan. Because I would have wallets, and I would have, but I would be doing stuff on base too. And on base they take USD. Some places take both, but usually on the base it's US dollars. So folded in thirds, if it were here, that's just fine. Folded in thirds, again, also just fine. I recommend folding in thirds because you only get 3 layers of your cash being folded as opposed to 4 if you were to fold it in half and then just fold it in half again. Yes, it's smaller here, but you've got an extra added layer of the bills as opposed to just in thirds, much less bulk, so you can easily carry more money. So with this one here, folded into thirds, my OCD, there we go. I could have easily, because of how thin this leather is, I could carry easily 4, possibly 6 cards in here with them being maybe just a little snug, and a fair amount of bills that are relatively well protected on this side and from this side. So yeah, so this is how it's gonna look once it's all done and stitched up. Add a little bit of extra height for the euro, and this one would still be an appropriate wallet for somebody who keeps things slim and trim, nice and sleek. this style of wallet is not to sew all the way to the end, because this needs to be open a little bit to allow for the expanding of the wallet with cards and cash. If I sew this all the way here, it wouldn't open up very much. I couldn't put nearly as much stuff in there, so I'm gonna stop it at about there and allow for that to be there for expansion purposes. All right, let's hope I don't screw this up. There it is. Completely forgot my little handy dandy tool. I love this thing so much. It saves on a lot of, I guess, fatigue when one is prepping for the hand stitching. Good to go. Normally it goes faster, but I'm trying to be accurate while on camera. All right, good to go. Okay, so this is gonna get stitched up, and then I'll post another short with the final result. Yes, I'm going to break protocol and not add any antiquing. I feel like this will just grow with the patina, so I'm just gonna maybe go with some Resolene or the spray sheen, and then that'll be it. Then I'll let the natural patina happen, so it'll, antique on its own. All right, well, thank you all very much for your time and attention. Did it again. This thing just won't stay plugged up. Thank you all very much for your time and attention. I'm Jay Renard, and I'm out, and I will be trying to do better with my filming instead of having the feed freeze because of alerts on the phone about my battery. All right, I'm out. Peace. Oh wait, I didn't do the thing. Watch of the day. Bertucci A2 Tango? Yeah, I think that's it. All right, cool. I'm out. Peace.